Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to a scene for London Ascending Vampire. This scene takes place at 34 Tite Street, and the Seneschal has been invited to have a private audience with Camilla, if he so wishes, because she feels like she hasn't really had time to speak with him one-on-one since he's been in the city.
Yeah, he'll, of course, gladly accept, and we'll be there dressed relatively nicely and, be knocking at the door, smiling pleasantly to whoever opens it to him.
Well, I know who opens it. Cadbury.
He has this bright, very energetic smile. Cadbury, darling. So nice to see you again.
And you, sir. He says, smiling dolefully at you. But it's quite obvious that he checks Garnet out a bit as he glides through to open the door to where the saloon where Camilla is.
Garnet will compliment Cadbury's dress style and hair as he's walking in, nodding approvingly as he strides in and gives a very polite bow then to Camilla when he walks in.
Camilla's standing. She's wearing a kind of like a white suit with a black tie. It's kind of it's more modern than a lot of the stuff that she normally wears. And she's wearing white leather gloves. And she bows to Garnet and she says, "My Seneschal."
"My Lady Camilla," as he returns the bow.
"Please, thank you for accepting my invitation. Please make yourself at home."
"Thank you for inviting me." He just gives her a smile and sits down on the chair, kind of, just again with a big smile on his face. He leans back in his usual arrogant pose. What does he?
She sits down next to him, but on the chair next to him, not on the same sort of seat.
"Oh, what does he wish to discuss with me then, Camilla, since you invited me into your home?"
"Oh, I merely wanted a chance to speak to you more candidly, because I feel we haven't really had a chance to get to know one another since you've been in the city. And I make it I've had private meetings with other members of the court, and I felt it amiss that I'd neglected you in such a way."
Well, maybe considering the circumstances, I think probably private meetings between the two of us when we were in competition would have ended a different way. He just gives her kind of a teasing smile, very good natured.
The corner of her mouth flickers slightly.
What would you like to know? He kind of just spreads his hands.
I wanted to express that any competition between yourself and myself previously was merely my protectiveness over the Queen, perhaps. My only ambition here is to ensure the traditions and the safety of the city are well catered for.
Camilla, say no more. You performed amicably and honourably in your quest for Seneschal, and I hope I can be a good one for you and the rest of this court. He just gives her a smile.
She nods. "So what is the man behind the role?" she says, feeling a little bit like a television interviewer as she holds her hand up as Cadbury passes behind her silently with the drinks as usual.
He sort of adopts that kind of like movie star type thing. The man behind the role. Well, I'm just a simple horseman, really. I tend to my stables every night and I relax. That's all. Nothing to it, really. He kind of smiles a bit. Yeah, he just kind of keeps smiling.
She smiles. Yeah, I guess I know he's a vampire.
No.
Um, where did you come from originally?
Ireland, my lady.
She nods. I had a few Irishmen in my group when I was in my mortal life. I was quite fond of.
Well, I'm glad you look upon my nationality favourably. He just kind of smiles.
Always with the flair, with the with words, gift of the gab, do they call it?
Something like that. Maybe that's where I learned it from. Is he just sports her a wink?
In my human life, I travelled with an acting group.
Oh, now that is interesting. We just had smiles like me. Wow, I've always been a stable boy. And he just kind of gives a smile, like just kind of ruffles his hair.
Cadbury gives him a kind of like, oh my, look, raised eyebrows from around the decanter, and Camilla just again, like she did the previous night, sort of gives him a look that says, "Please leave the room," and he leaves the room because he's eavesdropping. She could tell that. I do apologise for Cadbury. Just
All right,
he's quite enamoured of well, he suffers from the same. You know how our ghouls suffer from the same weaknesses.
Yes, yes. I'm sure if you walked into my stables, my ghoul Kaylee will be all over you in a heartbeat.
Camilla sort of laughs a little bit, and she tries not to entertain the thought. I wouldn't mind visiting your stables sometime, but I do fear that my condition is not good for animals.
Ah, yes. Well, if you were to visit my stables and gave me plenty of warning, I would have a horse specially made and ready so you could ride it. Just give her, just a nod.
It's been many, many, many years since I've ridden a horse.
Well, if you ever want to revisit the nostalgia, my door is always open to you.
It's a very tempting offer. She says, looking nostalgic, actually.
Well, and what about the woman behind the uniform then, so to speak? Lady Killer.
I was never a lady. Merely, like your humble beginnings, a dressmaker's daughter.
Well, he just kind of gives a smile about, we are quite similar then, both risen through humbleness into, well, this, he kind of just gestures.
Just a slight glint in her eye at that, perhaps betraying some thoughts going on inside her brain.
Yeah, he's gonna just, he's gonna roll for that, just perception empathy, just nothing serious. Well, 3. Not too
It's a
bad.
good roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, my roll was not that good.
Yeah, he's just kind of, oh no.
I got 2 9s, but I got 3 1s, so fuck it. She's maybe. I suppose it's kind of an analytical look when you say that. Like, there's a lot more going on inside her mind than what she's portraying. It's quite easy to. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to work out that Camilla's behaviour is trained behaviour, as opposed to what her natural demeanour is.
He just smiles a bit and takes a sip of a drink. Camilla, you can relax. I mean, we don't have to be formal all the time.
It's starting to sound like Laura.
He smiles. I'll take that as a compliment then.
Everyone's always telling me to relax.
Well, maybe you should take their advice. You look about tense.
Well,
I mean,
she doesn't really have an argument for it. She
you
just sort
just,
of she sits there and she arches her fingers together, and then she'll lean back in the chair so she's not so tightly sat up.
I mean, if you're wanting to get to know me, I think I'm relaxed, so why not we both relax and actually try and get to know each other properly? He just gives kind of a very teasing smile.
She again heard the corners of her lips flicker, and she sips from her drink. There's one bean left for him as well.
Oh yeah, he sips out of it. So, as he looks around the room, I suppose, well, I'm not going to ask how old you are, that's rude of a gentleman, but how long have you been in London for then?
I was born here. Well, I was born on the outskirts of what is now London.
Hmm.
Um, and I travelled around quite a bit. Made my first introductions into kindred life here. Stayed. Our queen was a seneschal at the time. Stayed until just after the war, with brief interludes of travel. But after the Blitz, I went to the Americas for a while.
Exotic. Just kind of the smile. It seems that your roots are well embedded by the looks of things. Your garden.
What about you? Where did you make your introduction into this life?
I made my introduction while I was embraced in a little small mansion up by Wicklow, Ireland, and I was made introduction to the Prince of Dublin. Then I moved to Marseille with my sire.
My charter favours France. I do not.
France it's interesting, but it does get a bit boring after a while.
It's full of it's full of my clan.
It is.
Absolutely to the brim. And it's not the sort of company, as loyal as I am to my blood, it's not the sort of company I normally like to keep. I'm somewhat of a outsider.
He kind of just cocks his head. Well, some people in my clan would consider me the same. Anyway.
I imagine you fitted in like a charm in France.
I did and I didn't. My sire was always eager for power and station, and goals and this and that, and just about more money that she could gain, and that was not me. So I left.
I think with a face like yours, you probably could have made your way quite high.
I could have, but I just wanted to make my horses and make my own way in the world.
She nods.
And with a face like yours, you could have been dazzled in France, I can guarantee you.
I am gifted otherwise. I mean, as you well know, is well reported, the Toreador embrace usually for one or two reasons. Great beauty or great talent. Whilst I was, I can't say I was a very good actor. I was passionate about it, but I wasn't a very good actor. And I never had the form appealing for feminine wiles. So I walk the line in between.
Interesting. So you masqueraded as both then?
I masqueraded as a man up until fairly recently.
Yes, everything does seem a bit more out in the open nowadays.
Mostly so I could participate in war.
Do you fear being a woman then? If you don't mind me asking.
Do I fear being a woman?
Well, you've only been come out as one now, that you've shed your coil away from what you've been known for most of your kindred years. Are you afraid of it?
No. I don't really see myself as one or the other.
Wow. Like a perfect balance then. You just add a smile.
I am. Some people know me as Christian, some people know me as Camilla. It very much depends on our relationship.
Ah, I see, I see. You just kind of had a little bit of a cheeky smile. So which one means that we're good friends? Christian or Camilla?
Sometimes it's a matter of preference, she says, taking a sip.
Just grins a bit. Well, I've always been Garnet in some way, so name stuck. But I was called Jared at one point.
She nods. Do you have children, Charter?
I had once one a long time ago. She was killed in a Sabbat incursion, unfortunately.
Camilla nods genuinely, sort of sympathetically.
He just gives her a smile. It was. I still mourn her in my own way. And what about? Well, you obviously have your child that recently left. I understood.
I have 3.
Wow. He seems impressed. Wow, 3. Are they here in the city or?
No, I'm scattered. 2 are in
Ah,
France and 1 is in New York.
they've gone out into the world again.
Well, Ariana has made it clear that she wished to be the only female. So sometime later, I embraced 2 gentlemen who do their various works. Are impressive in their own fields.
I see. So Ariana is the dominant one, then the eldest.
The eldest, yes.
He just smiles.
In
Well, on
her
that
own
note,
time,
oh,
she was a woman of great influence, and the prince wanted her to be brought into our fold because of all the influence she had. I believe she's told me she was propositioned by many different supernatural creatures, not just our kind.
wow,
But
a rare find then, Lady Camilla.
well, it's no secret that power is everything.
Yes, yes, he takes a sip.
And I did my duty to procure her for the prince.
And you became mother and child. You said with a smile.
Camilla rolls about manipulations of visual.
You Yeah, he contest it just because he's like, yeah, I'm watching her anyway. So
Bloody ones. Fuck my life with ones today.
well,
I'm rolling really badly today.
I'm actually rolling really well today for a change.
She nods. You can tell there's more to it than that.
He doesn't press it.
She reacted.
He smiles almost like he got what he wanted, but he doesn't press it. She'll tell him when she's ready, type of smile. Oh, I'm glad you two have each other anyway.
Again, that seems to elicit some sort of reaction. She shifts in her seat and sips from the drink. Are you,
Oh my what? He has another little smile.
She looks at him, like, kind of seriously. She just says, did you have ambitions to become seneschal before coming to London?
I had an ambition to make my clan something that people could look at without registering them just as insane babbling fools, cursed. That's more my ambition, to have us recognized as people like yourselves, maybe one day, like Toreadors and Venture. Seneschal just happened to fall into my lap.
What do you think of our new arrival?
She's an interesting one. And again, you can never tell with a Malkavian. One minute they could be smiling happy, next minute they'll be miserable and sad. It all depends on what she's really like once the facade is down.
I think that's true of all of us.
Mm. Yes, but our affliction affects us in different ways.
Camilla nods. I think Mr. Lorne did a good job of offending her in the first 5 seconds.
That
So
is Lorne, though. I think that is his method of trying to disarm you.
perhaps.
It's a clever tactic.
You've heard of
What do you?
this blood hunt.
Ah, yes. Yes, I have. I suspect he kind of leans forward almost, almost like kind of like he would if they were good friends, like shoulder barger. I suspect you'll be the first one through the leaping at this opportunity.
Do not leap at anything, really. I glide.
He smirks like starts to chuckle. Well, I suspect that you will no doubt apprehend this traitor with the utmost of dignity, mother.
I have my spiders working on it, yes.
Now that is a sight I would definitely wish to see, is you bringing him in. And who knows, if you are successful, well, I think we might have a new sheriff on our hands.
She smiles thinly and she says, well, that is if our new gangrel doesn't beat me to the pip.
Oh, rest assured, my lady. I think you are the most deserving.
Some people seem to favour her style.
People like to favor the wild and the brash and the eccentric because they remind them of the things that cannot be. But the wild, brash, and eccentric usually fade away in the sunlight eventually. It is the people like you and I who last and maintain this category.
She nods. You were going to ask me a question before about what I thought about something.
What did you think about our little new Malkavian then? As an outsider to my and her clan.
She's very guarded. Very guarded.
Do you trust
Which
it?
makes... When a woman is guarded, it's usually for one of two reasons.
Well,
Either
enlighten me. He just kind of has this little teasing smile.
secrets or bad experience.
Hmm. Bad experience, yes. He just nods. And how would you unearth these one two options then, Lady Camilla?
I happen to be quite the expert in guarded women.
Wow, I shall trust your expertise then. You just said almost teasingly.
But maybe she will come out of her shell in time. She tells me that she spent a long time alone in the Scottish Highlands.
Perhaps wanting to return to civilization in many ways. I can relate.
Her sudden wish to come to London, to the middle of the metropolis, under the guise of her media company, strikes me as a little bit odd.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
I think that there may be more than one reason why she is here.
Well, if you are up for it, well, maybe perhaps we can find out together why our budding little Malkavian is here.
Cadbury just sort of comes into the room to refill the glasses.
Garnet will smile at him as he's
And
refilling.
he says,
Thank you, darling.
Madam, I do believe that Miss McLean is dining with your Primogen at the moment. Sources do inform me. And he smiles as he exits the room again.
Well, now, that is interesting. Making friends already.
Yes.
Well, if she's anything like Arthur, we might be in a bit of trouble.
Camilla sort of stiffens a little bit at that.
He notices it and gleans his head. I understand you massively disapprove of what I've done, what I did to Sebastian. There's no point in trying to hide it.
She does react. She just sort of sits there, like she's silent for a moment because she's thinking. And she says, "I believe that a punishment is a punishment, and torture is torture. I do not believe that he acted in a way that should have given him any leniency, but there's a great deal of power in that discipline, that voice that you used. I've seen it used before to truly devastating effect. There's a slight, the description of 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
That's what the sort of look she has on her face in that moment.
If she looks at him, he'll have this kind of sad smile on his face. He'll just, yes, I was too excessive. My anger and my other parts of myself demanded something, and I listened. And when I should have had restraint, but I've had first-hand experience of that discipline, not through my own ability, but through how I was created. Maybe part of me wanted to teach Sebastian that, but at the end of the day, I hope he recovers because, well, I did. He just has a gentle smile.
I do believe that once the person who used the power is no longer with us, it fades over time. At least the ones I killed before
Well,
seemed to lose their grip once they were dead. She shakes her head. During explanation, during the conflict they now know as the First World War, some Sabbat anti-tribu liked to use that power to immobilize unscrupulous humans.
yeah. My sire used it as a favorite pastime for me. He adds with a smile. She did enjoy her games. But he will recover, and when he does, we will be all there to guide him.
He just
One way or
must
the other.
mind himself. I know what it's like to have a child who likes their own way.
He just had like almost a teasing smile, in which one of the three is this.
Some people are more strong-willed than others, especially in their youth.
Yes. I can attest to that. He kind of adds with a smile. But he will learn, and he'll make the Queen proud.
I know how fond she is of him. So
It's a natural feeling. We're all fond, or were fond, as he kind of just goes a bit blank, of our children.
well, they are extensions of them ourselves, are they not?
Yes, with their own twist of individuality there as well. That perfect blend.
She also sort of goes a little bit distant in her gaze, thinking about something. Well, I just wanted you to know that despite our previous disagreements, I'm at your service in terms of how we proceed in this war and thereafter.
Nods. Well, if you want to come to this interrogation of this, well, fiend, you are more than welcome, Camilla. I would like you there. But you don't have to come. I'm not asking.
She nods thoughtfully. I don't know how much she will tell you.
Very little, probably. But it must be done. Either way.
She'll probably glory to die. But, which is a shame waste, really. But such is war.
Yes, well. I'll try and use a few tactics. If they don't work, there will be a public execution to boost morale, but I very much doubt we'll get really any concrete information.
She nods. I'm going to focus my efforts over the next couple of nights on bringing in this Assamite in.
Well, don't die on me now, otherwise this little court will be very, very boring. He has a smile.
She smiles at him, kind of like in a smirky way. Like she, and she says, well, I don't intend to die. I do intend to stop him before he leaks any further information.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. He kind of just smirks at her. I hope maybe we can be friends one day, Camilla. It would be nice.
Friends.
Yes. I believe that is what people who share common interests are called. Yeah, it's kind of almost like raising an eyebrow.
She smiles, sort of wondering what he's up to.
Well, maybe one day he'll. I get to see your wild side after all. and maybe you can teach me a few things about a bit more camera etiquette in places.
Wild side.
Oh, I know it's right. He just has it's a bit of just a cheeky grin.
She's got kind of like a what's the right word to put it? Not mischievous, but like her eyes have lit up a little bit, like she's up to something herself. Like he's provided her with some sort of intellectual stimulation.
And if you ever need anything, Camilla, don't hesitate to ask me. Or if you need anyone looked into, I can provide that. Quite effective.
Well, perhaps when this matter with the asthmite is dealt with, I will visit your stables.
Please do. I'd be honored to have you there.
She drinks her drink and then she looks at the time. She goes, "Fortunately, it's time for my meeting."
Well, I wish you the best of luck, and if you need anything, do not hesitate to ask. She gets up gracefully.
She stands and she picks up her cane. Actually, no, she doesn't. Cabri comes in and gives her her coat and her cane.
You just smile and probably walk beside her out as well, just giving her just a nod and a bow. And thank you for inviting me into your lovely home, Camilla, as always.
She nods. You're very welcome, and I look forward to seeing you, hopefully with Asamite head in hand.
I look forward to seeing it. I'll make sure that it is gossiped for the next age around court. He just adds with this devilish little grin.
She smiles. She will sort of wait for him to go down the steps.
He'll stride down, but not before giving Cadbury just one last long swish of his hair and just see you soon, Cadbury. As he's walking down.
Good night, sir, he says, smiling at you.
And yeah,
He's brushing off Camilla's shoulders of her coat with like one of those little like coat brushes type things.
He just smirks at Cadbury with this wicked grin and then, stride away.
Cadbury waits until Camilla's out of till Grant is out of earshot, and he whispers into his sire's ear. And that'll be the moment we end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Till next time.